Hi everyone. My name is Emily and this is Bonnie, and today our Christian conversation is going to be about female empowerment through meditation.
Love it. Yes. It always, every time I hear it, I'm like, I got to get the fist. It's amazing.
So
Yes.
we're going to go through kind of a little bit of our journeys through the fitness world and athletics and how it kind of, oh my gosh, I have to call. So we are going to go through our stories about how meditation has helped us feel empowered as women, especially being in the fitness world and also being previous athletes as well. So you want to kick it off
Absolutely.
here?
Absolute. Yes. So, like Emily said, I'm Bonnie. And I don't know. I am actually rather new to like meditation. I've only really had a practice for probably less than a year. Did the training, did a meditation teacher training here in Dallas from September to December of 2019, so last year, depending on when you're watching this. And really, it's been it's a journey that's, I think, constantly evolving. And I think just as women in general, we're always like, you know, trying to reset our minds and just trying to remember that like our worth does not come from our bodies, because a lot of times, with commercials and just things you see online and like you see like what sells, right? Like they said, that whole conversation of like sex sells. It's like your body is like almost like it's like your body is like your worth, you know what I'm saying? And like how fit you are. And you know, people notice if you're like, oh, well, she's gaining weight, she's losing weight. Like everyone always wants to have some sort of comment on that. And so with the meditation journey, it's really just I've been able to just have a chance to just kind of realign on what actually is important, and then also not like to let go of that attachment of what other people are saying.
Definitely.
More so, although it's, I'm not perfect, we're not perfect, there still is that like societal pressure that you want to have a healthy body, but it is something where you've let go of just like like society's ideals, and really I've been able to sit with myself and realize what is healthy for me personally.
Yeah, definitely. I think we all can relate to that for sure. And, in just being a woman in general and wanting to be healthy or striving for that health, I feel like the line gets really blurred between, am I doing this because I want to look a certain way, or be a certain weight, or whatever your goal or what you want to achieve is, or am I doing this because I want to be the healthiest person I can be, or am I doing this because this feels good in my body, this makes me appreciate my body, love my body. And I think that's something that I really had to kind of come to terms with at many different stages of my life. But when I kind of hit that bumpy road with my body image, or I find that I'm striving for something, meditation has helped me so much in just loving and appreciating where I'm at, and not trying to hit a certain goal, or trying to look a certain way, or be a certain way to try to impress or please other people. It's hard, and I think I want to emphasize that a lot, because people, you see people that meditate, and people are always like, oh, like I could never do that, like they're so zen or peaceful or whatever. Like meditating is a very hard practice. Having to sit with your thoughts is a hard thing to do. But I have found that being able to sit with those dark thoughts that I had about my body as a woman, or my worth as a woman, has allowed me to kind of be in the place I am now, where I love and accept myself for and where I'm at today in the present. And I think that that's just something that all women in all walks of life can benefit from. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that actually makes me think of, because we've been under quarantine, like, right? We've been like 5 or 6 weeks in the same place, only getting to go out like for food and the essentials and whatnot. And it's just been like, it's been monotonous. And like, you just, it's the whole world has been kind of shifted. And so it's what my point is trying to get is like the other day, on the umpteenth day or whatever of being at home, like I, wake up feeling like super lethargic and just like bad about my body and just bad in general. And it's just, I feel like the meditation, like I've been able, it's not that the triggers are gone because like they're still there. Like I see like a commercial or I see something on Instagram where like, like my partner like likes a picture. I'm like, why'd you like that picture? Like she's, like 6-pack and like a bikini. I'm like, oh, is that what you like? Because I don't look like that, like that type of stuff, seriously. But like that's like a trigger for me, but I'm able to like through the meditation practice is just to like acknowledge like, okay, hey, like this is like, an insecurity that I have like as a woman because I don't look that way. And like, whatever, right? It may be, but that was just one example from the other day, specifically on top of mine. But sorry, partner, you're going to hear this if you watch it. No, just kidding. But yeah, I was like, I just felt really bad. But like I was able to at least talk it out a little bit more and acknowledge like, hey, this is an insecurity I have. Like, I'm not going to attach to like the image or like this person or whatever it may be that I may have used to do in the past. But just acknowledge like and recognize those triggers and then have like meditation be like what helps me through it, because there are going to like, just because we have a meditation practice, we still get triggered all the time,
Totally. I think that's such a good point is like you had that insecurity or thought about yourself, but you were able to meditate, whether that was being mindful in the moment or actually sit down and meditate and work through that insecurity. And I think that's such a good point is like, just because you are a meditator and you meditate every day doesn't mean you're not going to have these moments of insecurity and maybe darkness. Like you're still going to have those moments, but now you have kind of tools to better equip yourself to deal with those things that life throws at you, which I think is just so vital, especially nowadays with social media and just, we basically have something in our hands all the time that has so many triggers popping up for us at any given moment. And I think that's another thing that's important to say is, as a woman, like we were saying before, in regards to health and also trying to strive. So we have, those two paths of, am I doing this to be healthy or am I doing this because I'm striving to be something I saw on Instagram or, whatever. I feel like meditation can kind of help you really being healthy in the moment. So that's maybe what you're eating or like how you're exercising or, whatever, or your relationships with your partners or your children or your friends. All of that, meditating can just completely make all of that so much healthier. Yeah,
I agree.
How have your relationships changed since you've been meditating?
Yeah, I think I've been able to almost get to more the root of like if I were to have issues with maybe like a mom or dad or something or a friend or a partner, and I don't have kids, so I can't necessarily say that specifically, but I have a dog now, so I can't speak to her.
So
but
that is kind of like good.
Yes. And no, just being able to not just like because I would say we're pretty, I'm going to speak for both of us here, but we're pretty happy people most of the time. Like we're very pleasant to be around, Emily and I, right? Like I like to say that, people aren't going to be like, oh, that girl like goes off. No, we are very like pleasant to be around, but we have these moments of when we have these issues or feelings of anger or whatever, annoyance with a roommate or like anything that we're able to like, the meditation has been a way for me to get to like the root of like the actual problem, not just like be like, oh, I'm annoyed because, I haven't talked to this person for like, it's week 6 and I haven't talked to this friend in quarantine. It's like, okay, Bonnie, sit back and like meditate on what it is that's actually bothering you.
Yeah.
Like, why do you feel, what do you think that the issue is? And then just sitting with yourself, you kind of be like, okay, you get down more to the root of things. Like I had a friend that I hadn't chatted with for a while, or, like you reach out to a friend in a quarantine and like it's just hard to keep up with each other, but like it's just kind of knowing that we're all going through something, right? Totally. And like it's you give yourself more grace, I think.
Yeah.
And honestly, therefore other people.
Yeah. And I think just to add on that, that's just how I feel as well. But in regards to relationships, you are less reactive with your emotions. It's like you're more in the driver's seat now, instead of in the past I would have kind of let my emotions take over and just control what I said or how I acted. And at the end of the day, it really, really hurt the person that I was having an issue with, and a person that I loved deeply. And so just through this practice, you can stop and figure out, okay, what's happening within me, what's happening within them, and you're able to better handle that situation or circumstance. And yeah, just in the end, just leading from your heart space, leading from a place of love and compassion and kindness, and not your instantaneous emotion of maybe anger or betrayal or whatever it may be. So
Absolutely. And even as just like females, we're supposed to, that's like not a, there's this, I mean, persona of like females of just, being softer and like, not necessarily like if you take charge, you're kind of seen more as like, I don't know, like rude or like aggressive versus assertive, it's like that kind of thing, right? And I mean, just even like the workplace or whatever, like I've seen meditation as, especially as a female, like, and I work in like tech, so it's heavily male dominated. My last project I had was all men, and I was the youngest. I was the youngest by at least 10 years. I was the only female on the project. And it's just the meditation for me as a female in that aspect has helped me like just be authentic and trust that, I because you get triggers just like that, like you would with a roommate or like family or whatever. It's just another relationship that you kind of have to work through. And I think meditations just help me be confident to be myself, but also like when I don't feel confident and like when I have a bad day, because those happen, it's a chance for me to just sit and like honestly like have a space to just be calm and like enjoy that. I don't know, like there's so many different things that we could say about female empowerment with meditation, honestly. It's like, but
I think that just going off of that, when you start becoming more sure of yourself, so you're sitting more with yourself, and really getting to the root of your thoughts or the root of anything, maybe your past trauma or your relationships, whatever it may be, you are able to move in spaces that maybe you once didn't feel you were able to move. So if you work in an industry like Bonnie and you're one of the only females there, which is probably pretty likely, you're able to move in these spaces with more grace and confidence because you're sure of who you are. You're not worried about what society's telling you are, or maybe the men in your office are telling you are, or whoever. You're not worried about any of that because you know who you are. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about meditation, because I feel like most of us have been pretty strong women most of our lives, but I was always a little bit unsure of myself and maybe who I was and what path I was supposed to be on. And meditation has really, really just helped me kind of sift through my thoughts and realize, okay, that's not who I am, that's who somebody else told me I was.
Absolutely.
And
that's
just
a really good point.
Being able to just move through spaces with confidence and grace, and knowing that even if someone does say that, oh, you can't do this because you're a woman, or you're not going to get paid as much because you're a woman, you don't have to listen to that. All you have to listen to is yourself. which is, I think, a very, very beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. Ooh, that wage gap. No. Just
Yeah.
like, oh, that wage gap. No. Oh, no. But that like brings me like what you just said there about just moving through situations with grace and just being your authentic self, also with like relationships and just being like with, like a romantic relationship is more what I'm talking about. And when you said not being who you truly are versus not being or believing, like if you're like, that's not who I am, like whoever told you, whomever, right? A partner maybe told you that you were crazy because of XYZ, and you're like, oh, am I actually, like you kind of get, especially as a female, we're very introspective and we think a lot, I think, especially versus just, like maybe, I'm obviously not a man, but more like, they just kind of think and they just let things slide and like, oh, I didn't even hear that didn't bother me, whatever. As a female, if someone tells you one thing and you're like, wait, what? Like you fixate on it. Meditation has helped me not fixate on things 100%, especially with relationships, especially as, sure, I have a partner, but like I'm not married. So technically on any tax form, I'm single and like, things like that. So as a single person and not like being married or, having, I guess a spouse, if you will, you go through like just that dating experience as a female too. You go through like you can go through a lot of negative experiences, and just that meditation has 100% helped me get through a lot of stuff, a lot of dark like things, right? And just people, partners trying to tell you who you are, and it comes in all forms. Like with work, someone tells you, how you are as a coworker, right? And you're like, oh, I feel like I'm hit deadlines and I do these things, but you maybe slip up one time and someone says something and you're like, oh, you don't want to believe that. Meditation helps you sit with and realize who you truly are. Relationships, someone tells you that, oh, well, you're just insecure about this. And you're like, oh, am I really insecure? Or is it actually someone else's actions making you know what I'm saying? Not actually insecure. It just really helps you connect with yourself. I've found, and it's not a perfect process, my God, like but it is a process, and it's the journey, and that's like I think the most beautiful thing about it is that we're all female, male, whomever, however we identify, we're all on this journey, and I think meditation helps it be a little smoother, so that's nice.
Totally. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this cushion conversation, and we will see you next time. Bye.